the point that we have reached here is after a lot of deliberation, a lot of discussion between the stalwarts of the industry. And we are going to be witnessing such a discussion here today on this stage as we continue with our panel discussion for the day, which is going to be on the topic of the water way to go, Jal Bachao, Kal Bachao. And for the panelists, first off, I would like to call upon the moderator for this panel discussion. Ma'am, can I request you back on stage, please? Dr. Ananta S. Raghuvanshi, founder and president of NAREDCO Mahi. A big round of applause for our moderator, please. I would like to call upon our panelists for this panel discussion. First up, Mr. Gurmeet Singh Arora, President, Indian Plumbing Association, IPA. Mr. Singh is also a founding trustee. Sir, can we have you on stage, please? Mr. Singh is also a founding trustee and secretary of the Indian Institute of Plumbing. He is the national chairman of CII, Indian Green Building Council, and a founding member and senior fellow of Indian Green Building Council. A big round of applause, Mr. Gurmeet Singh. Our next panelist is Mr. Ramveer Tanwar, also fondly called the Pond Man of India, an environmentalist and TEDx speaker who is passionate about water conservation. The founder of Say Earth NGO and declared the brand ambassador of Swachh Bharat Mission, Ghaziabad, and appointed district coordinator of Bhuj Jal Sena, Noida, by the government of UP. A big round of applause, Sri Ramveer Tanwar, please. Next up, our panelist is Mr. Sanjay Dutt, MD and CEO of Tata Realty and Infrastructure Limited and Tata Housing Development Company Limited. Has over 28 years of experience in the real estate development and consulting space. He's managing 20 ongoing projects measuring across 13 cities in India, Sri Lanka and Maldives, which includes commercial, retail, hospitality and residential. A big round of applause, Mr. Sanjay Dutt. We also have Professor Meghal Arya, PhD, who challenges the understanding of contemporary architecture as a practicing architect, educator, and academic researcher. Key to her work is seeking the knowledge embedded in the traditional architecture of India and unfolding its essentials and translating its value. A big round of applause, Professor Meghal Arya. Our next panelist is Ms. Smita Patil, who is the Managing Director at SSPL Group, who is the life member of Mahi. Can I request Mrs. Smita Patil to be here? Thank you, ma'am. Can I request you on stage? She is the life member of Mahi, the women's wing of NAREDCO, where she is working towards women engagement in the real estate industry. A strong advocate of women empowerment, she strives to give her best every day. A big round of applause for Mrs. Smita Patil. And last but not the least, we have Ms. Sheetal Bhilkar, who is the Director, Urja Building Services Private Limited. Welcome, ma'am, looking lovely. Founder Director of the Real Women Awards, President TRW Community, Co-Chair Women Wing FSAI Mumbai, NAREDCO Mahi Vice President East, Ashray Member and Ishray Member. A big round of applause for Ms. Sheetal, please. And I leave it up to our moderator, Dr. Ananta S. Raghuvanshi, to kindly steer the discussion.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So we are here to discuss about saving water. Gurmeet ji's favorite line is Jal Bachao, Kal Bachao. Now, the whole idea is that we have to bring about a paradigm shift in our thought process so that we do save water for our children and then for their children. I feel so honored, privileged, excited. I'm actually ecstatic today because I have the best in their areas sitting here with me on stage today. मेरे 32 साल निकल गए हैं panels पे होते होते, लेकिन today is my favorite panel ever in my 32-year career. I'm so happy that all of them could make it. They have Most of them have come from outside, and their introductions have already been made. They've done so much work in this field, and they are still doing it. It's a life dedicated to this. Before I jump into the questions, while Pavleen has made all those fancy introductions, but in one line, if I have to kind of introduce them to you, it's Meghal, as her name says. It means water, rainwater. She's dedicated her whole life to water. And when we talk about water, there's a book of hers called Spatial Ecology of Water. She has gone to Jodhpur and stayed there in the deserts and worked on it. So there's nobody who's done that kind of work, and she's a doctorate in that, in spatial ecology of water. So that's Meghal for you. When we talk about Mr. Dutt, the chairman of Tata Realty, I've had the privilege of knowing him through his journey. We've both kind of grown up together in that sense and seen the sector grow up. So I would call him Sanjay. But Sanjay, whether it is his home, or whether it is his workplace, or whether it is his organization, he's always been so conscious. And having that journey with the IPCs and where facilities management, so many roles and hats he's worn in this entire journey. And he still wears all those hats. So he has kind of, it's a way of life with him. So delighted to have him here. Sheetal will herself give her introduction to you during the course of these discussions. Mechanical, engineering, plumbing. Very few women have the guts to go through that journey, from striving to thriving. She has done it single-handedly, started a company, done MEP on her own, and you can see she visits sites, but she still looks the way she looks. So that's her. Ramveer Tanwarji is like a dream come true for me. I think I was following him like absolutely mad, like a teenager. I was following him on LinkedIn, his every work. He's 29 years old and he has cleaned 50 water bodies. And when we see his work, it makes me feel abhi bahut kam kiya hai zindagi mein. Till I met him, mujhe lagta tha maine bahut kiya hai, and I'm mother to a 25-year-old. So I feel my goodness to leave a MNC job and become the pond man of India. I think I'm actually writing a book on him. I'm that fascinated by him, and I respect him that much. I would now talk about Smita. Smita is a tornado. There is nothing she can't do. There is no door that she will not get opened. Ek baar dhun sawar ho jaye, to ho gayi bas. She is that. So do not be, misled by the delicate appearance. She is a tornado. So she runs her own developer company, but other than that, she does so many other things also. Last, I'm coming to Gurmeet ji. Gurmeet ji is the head of Indian Plumbing Association. He manages his own organization, NAREDCO. He also heads IGBC, but he is the reason why Mahi took on this objective of Nirmal Jal Prayas. Of course, the term was coined by Alok Gupta ji. I don't know whether he's in the room or not. He's there, probably. And we launched it on his platform at the Plumex, like I had mentioned earlier also. So now I'll jump straight into the questions, and I think we will keep some time for the Q&A as well, because I'm sure during the course of discussions you would want to know a lot from all these interesting people who have done so much in their lives. So, Sanjay, I'll start with you. Tata Housing and Trill are leading developers of great repute. What are the initiatives that you have implemented in saving water at source?
Thank you very much, Ananta, for that brilliant introduction for all of us. And this is the first time I'm in the company of some very, very intelligent, talented women leaders in the room. So I'm simply delighted to be a part. Tata Housing took a pledge to, throughout the portfolio, across 57 projects in 17 cities in India, to build sustainable buildings almost 15 years ago. We are also very fortunate to have India's first net carbon zero building, Ramanujam. It happens to be commercial in Chennai. It was given to us by International Finance Corporation. Also very proud to state, in the same complex, we have Asia's first all-women hotel in Chennai, managed by Taj Wellington Mews. It was a brilliant idea, and we have 80 young, talented professionals who are managing all by themselves. So the initiatives, we've been promoting a lot of CSR projects across all our projects. So we took the responsibility. We made a small contribution of contributing to 2 ponds in Chennai, just to share with you, about a few years ago. And we thought the city like Chennai, which has such beautiful water bodies, were getting polluted. And we embarked on it, and we have beautifully restored them. Across all our projects, we got Indian Green Building Council recognition as well. So, we've actually made a lot of awareness about it amongst not only the employees and the vendors, but also amongst the users, the people who come to our projects, and we amplify the importance of how to conserve water. So this is mostly on the education side. But clearly, we have used technology now. We got recently vetted by an American organization called GRESB. GRESB not only evaluates the project that you have built as green, but they also track your score, whether the buildings remain green while in use, so which is even more important. And I'm very proud to say that we've been able to demonstrate 67% conservation of water across all our commercial portfolio. Recycling is something that we do across all our projects, so it's a minimum benchmark. We've also started adding to water and green energy an area of keen interest to us, and which is indoor air quality. I think most cities in India suffer, and I'm very pleased to say that Tata Housing and Tata Realty Infrastructure has taken a lead as a development company to ensure that the air quality that our tenants and clients and individuals who are breathing is substantially better than the external environment. So, Tata is always known for its initiatives, so I'm very grateful that I have the management support to keep taking such initiatives.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. Gurmeet, I'll move over to you. You lead 2 important organizations, the Indian Plumbing Association and CII, Indian Green Building Council. Could you please share with us your perspective on the looming water crisis in the country?
Thank you, Anantaji. If you all recall, on the 15th of November, the 8th billion child was born on Mother Earth. Currently, our country has 17.7% of the world's population, only 4% of its fresh water. So we have an imbalance as far as our water is concerned. Fresh water I'm talking about, not sea water or polluted water. We have many fantastic programs by the Ministry of Housing, Urban Affairs, Amrut, Atal Mission for Rural Urban Rejuvenation of Transformation of Cities has been expanded from 500 cities to 4,700 cities, where the plan is to supply 24/7 water with a 9-meter and 13-meter head. We have the Housing for All. You heard the Minister speaking about the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Rajanji also spoke about it, where every urban poor is to be provided a 300 square feet carpet area house. You have the Swachh Bharat Mission 2.0, where we want to make 164 cities like Indore garbage and fecal sludge sewage free. So all these programs are going to require water. As we go, the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, we are talking of 30 liters per capita per day to every villager in the country. It's very commendable because even today in the modern world, we lose 3,000 children every day to diarrhea. And I'm talking of every day 3,000 children die due to waterborne diseases. 70% of the communicable diseases are communicated through bad quality of water. Now, having said this, we are right now sitting in New Delhi, where only 55% of the wastewater of fecal sludge is treated. 45% is left out into the Yamuna and other bodies untreated, and therefore your Yamuna in Delhi is also black. You take water from 200 kilometers away, and we had done a study a few years back when Sheila Dikshit ji was the Prime Minister, when we found 52% of Delhi's energy is attributed towards pumping of water. What we call a water energy nexus, water G. Ananta G, this is called water G. So we have a crisis on hand. Ladies and gentlemen, you look at Chennai, where you have to go down 400, 500 meters to touch the water table. Bengaluru, 480 lakes have become 79 and one lake catches fire every year. So there has to be an awareness in the building community to work towards water conservation and treating every drop of water that comes out of your site. It's possible. The Indian Green Building Council on the 22nd of April 2022, World Earth Day, launched the Net Zero mission on water, waste and energy, and we have a framework rating on net zero carbon. Now, the Prime Minister has promised that we will achieve carbon neutrality by 2070. I don't think many of us will live for the next 47 years to see this reality. We have to do something now. And you cannot achieve carbon neutrality unless you achieve water, energy, and waste neutrality. So we have lots of projects, including the Medanta Hospital in your neighborhood, Medicity, which does not discharge a single drop of water into the mains. My own factory where I live, where I work, does not discharge a single drop of water outside. Everything is treated and reused. So it's possible, Anantaji, we have to not only revive our lakes, our ponds. We have a lake man of India, Anand Maligawat. We have a pond man sitting on my right side. And there is S. Vishwanath, you know him very well, some of you, who is doing a lot of work on rainwater harvesting. We have to work together, whether it's a CREDAI, NAREDCO, IIID, IIA. We have MOUs with everybody where we are looking at making buildings net zero water and waste. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gurmeet ji. It's such an alarming situation, especially with children falling ill and losing their lives, just because we have ruined our environment in the last 20 years. I think it's a wake-up call for all of us. Ramveer ji, I would move to you now. Your journey is super fascinating, as I mentioned earlier. इतनी कम उम्र में आपने अपना पूरा MNC का जॉब, अपना engineering, सब चीज़ त्याग के अपनी ज़िंदगी को आपने बिल्कुल एक ये ponds clean up करने में और ये water bodies rejuvenate करने में लगा दिया. What is your relationship with ponds?
Thank you, अनंता जी. देखिए वैसे चाहे वो पॉन्ड क्लीन अप हो, एनवायरनमेंट कंजर्वेशन हो, इनके लिए कोई एज बैरियर है नहीं किसी के सामने भी, है ना. जब चाहे कोई भी शुरू कर सकता है. बट इंडिया में एनवायरनमेंट कंजर्वेशन जैसे इम्पोर्टेंट काम को सोशल वर्क की कैटेगरी में डाल के उसको आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट का एक काम समझ लिया जाता है, जो कि एक दुखद बात होती है. और मेरा जो एक्चुअल रिलेशन है वो ये है कि अभी भी मैं गांव में ही रहता हूँ, गौतम बुद्ध नगर ज़िले में, और वहीं से ट्रेवल किया है. और मैं अपने स्कूल डेज में इवन जब तक मैंने 12th पास करके कॉलेज नहीं गया, तो जो मेरा डेली रूटीन वर्क था वो बहुत सारी गाय भैंसों को जंगल में घास चरा के लाना था। तो ये मेरा डेली रूटीन था कि स्कूल से आके भैंसों को लेके जाना, पूरे दिन तालाबों के आसपास खेलना। तो जो मैंने स्विमिंग सीखी है वो तालाबों से सीखी है ना। कई बार भैंस जब तालाब क्रॉस करती थी तो उसकी पूंछ पकड़ के हम भी क्रॉस करना सीख गए, तो उस तरह से हमने स्विमिंग करना सीखी है। तो लेकिन जैसे जैसे कॉलेज पास आउट हुए तो मैंने देखा कि एजुकेशन बढ़ती जा रही है बट पॉन्ड्स पीछे हटते जा रहे हैं, है ना। बिल्डिंगों की हाइट बढ़ रही है बट पॉन्ड्स की कंडीशन घट रही है। सो दैट वाज द पॉइंट कि मैंने सोचा कि पॉन्ड्स के लिए कुछ करना चाहिए, एंड दैट वाज द रिलेशन विद पॉन्ड्स कि मैंने पॉन्ड्स से बहुत कुछ सीखा है। मेरा बचपन अधिकतर पॉन्ड्स के आसपास गया है, और हालांकि मैं अभी भी कोई बुढ़ा नहीं हो गया हूँ, अभी भी वही पॉन्ड है, लेकिन मैंने देखा है कि वो पॉन्ड कहीं ना कहीं एक लैंडफिल साइट है। जिस मेरे गांव के पास से जो नहर गुजरी, और ये बहुत लंबा चेंज नहीं हुआ, पिछले 20 साल में आई थिंक जितना चेंज हुआ है वो पिछले 100 साल में भी नहीं हुआ होगा। तो जो 20 साल पहले एक नहर थी जिसमें खुद हमने नहाए हैं, आज वो एक ड्रेनेज सिस्टम है, वहाँ पे एक पूरा ड्रेन जाता है वहाँ से, उसको नहर कह ही नहीं सकते। जो पॉन्ड है वो एक लैंडफिल साइट में बन गया है। तो दैट इज द चेंज एंड दैट इज द रीजन वी स्टार्टेड दिस।
थैंक यू सो मच रामवीर जी, आपकी बातें बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, आपका काम उससे भी ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग है। मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि ये कैसे कर रहे हैं। सो आई वेंट टू हिज विलेज, आई वेंट एंड सॉ द पॉन्ड, सीइंग इज बिलीविंग। आप बिल्कुल सही बोल रहे हैं, और बिफोर एंड आफ्टर भी देखा। उसका हम एक बार बाद में प्ले करेंगे इस पैनल के, ताकि सब लोग समझ सकें वो कि क्या चीज़ है।
And I will request to give me 5 minutes after this like panel discussion, so I'll show some pictures, video how we do this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Or now, as you can see, this is one of those rare panels where the gentlemen were asked the questions first, because Mahi is the host today. So now I'll move to the girls. Meghal ji.
Men get the privilege today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Meghal ji, what was the most interesting part of your research on ancient water bodies and step wells? I have read your book cover to cover, and I have read it 2.5 times. I'm still carrying it in my bag. But to go to Jodhpur, to stay in rural India at a stretch when you already have a thriving architecture practice going on, please do share your thoughts. I mean, I want to understand the person Meghal Arya, and you know how she went on to do her doctorate in this.
Thank you. Thank you, Ananta ji. First of all, I'll just share with all of you present here that I tend to stay in a cocoon. She's asked me about myself, so I tend to stay in a cocoon. Even when I'm practicing, I stay at the back side of things, and as an academic, I remain in my comfortable academic environment. And I think only someone like Ananta ji could drag me out over here and share my journey with all of you all. The other important aspect of sharing this journey is that for the longest, we are taking action in parts. So different people are doing different things for this purpose, but we need a kind of concentrated effort. And one of the things I believe that the concentrated effort will come when we have a full knowledge about what we're doing. And like our honorable chief guest, she said, you know, that we need to link the past with the present. In the absence, aapne bhi wahi baat kari hai. Without that connect, we will keep struggling only to work with a part relationship with what we're doing. And it was that understanding that drove me to try to find out that pani sabse kam kahan pe hai? Where is it that we have the least water in our country? Because the learnings are over there. When we have scarcity and we want to understand resilience, and if I have to search for something, I will go to a place which has been resilient. So Jodhpur was one of those cities. It is absolutely unique क्योंकि जब मैंने शुरू किया वहाँ पे काम, and I was going around the city and I was asking the local people, where are these water bodies? Even the local people with shops next to the water bodies didn't know कि वो वहाँ पे हैं. By and large, people thought that there were 7 or 8 large water bodies in Jodhpur. There are more than 400 water bodies in Jodhpur. And most of them are working. Actually, they are not defunct. Some of them, the government has put some pumps to extract water, but most of them are neglected. And that was a very heartbreaking condition for me to see. And that is when I started trying to investigate ki ye water bodies hain kya. I'm sure Delhi people, you've gone to the Agrasen ki Bawli and you've enjoyed the architecture of it. What is special about these water bodies is that, yes, of course it is beautiful architecture, and I'll come to that a little later, but most importantly, it is infrastructure and science. ये सिर्फ pleasure के लिए नहीं create की गई थी. They're not only for pleasure or they're not only for viewing, they're actually sustaining the settlement. Because Jodhpur and the desert regions are not on riverine systems, right? They don't have a river to access water. So how are they going to remain a thriving settlement? So that was my, in that situation.
Thank you so much, Meghalji. Sheetal. Sheetal is our Vice President for NAREDCO Mahi for East. And she currently resides in the West, but she works all over the world. Sheetal, as a leading MEP consultant, how many projects have you designed with reclamation of water? And can you explain the process and the amount of water saved in percentage or liters?
Okay. Thank you, Ananta ma'am, for this question. First of all, I would like to tell our audience how exactly we work. So we are MEP consultants. So we design mechanical, electrical, plumbing, firefighting systems for any construction or any infrastructure projects. So we play a very major role in saving water for the nation. To give the example, till date I have designed more than 100 million square feet. So I think millions of water requirement for this projects. We have done study, we have used various methods for saving water. So as a consultant, we design efficient piping systems, duct systems, then water treatment plants, then innovative technologies we use, rainwater harvesting we use. So we basically, water saving strategies are designed by us at the beginning of the project itself. So give you all an example how we save water. I can give you few statistics. Like in one project which we are doing at Pune, which is 3.2 million square feet, it's a mixed use project. So the daily fresh water requirement there is 1.2 million liters. So by using water treatment plants and using treated water for chillers and then for flushing and for irrigation, we have saved 42% of water in that project. And when you add to rainwater harvesting, the total water saving in that project itself, one project itself is 89%, which is huge. So I think like this, as a consultant, we are very sensitive about each and every project, big or small, about water saving, and we are judiciously working, educating developers for using right water saving strategies. And definitely, I think we are playing a vital role in saving water for the nation. Thank you.
Sheetal, heartiest congratulations and keep doing the good work. So very proud of you. I would now come to Smita. And Smita is our Vice President for NAREDCO Mahi for West. Smita, there are 3 rivers in Pune, right? Of course, they look like drains now. As Vice President West of NAREDCO Mahi, what is your vision and what can we do there?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. Hello. Yeah, thank you for the question, ma'am. Certainly, I would say the state of the rivers right now is a matter of concern. And the way it has pollution impacted it, it is very worst. And over the years, the encroachment have led to this situation of the rivers. There is a Mula Mutha river mainly into the city, and now it is like a drain, as you said. And the reason behind this is kind of the rapid pace of construction going on. If we look at some numbers, so we have in residential market as compared to 2022, right now we have 1.6x more construction in the residential, and if we compare it to the 2018, it is 164% high rise in the construction of residential, and the same thing goes on with the commercial as well. And we look at the kind of pace rapid urbanization is going on, and there is no such working for handling the sewage going into the rivers. So still right now 30% of the direct sewage going to the rivers, and through some nalas and through some piped outflows. And to handle that, right now the 10 STPs are installed there on the river, but which is not enough if we see the numbers of rapidly increasing construction that are not enough as of now. But I'm heartened to see that many initiatives are underway. So recently I met the commissioner and the additional commissioner of Pune Municipal Corporation, and about discussing on the Pune river rejuvenation project, and I understand that they are planning to install 11 more STPs along with these old 10 STPs with the high-end technologies, and they are planning to curb all that nalas and the outflows which are going directly to the nearest STP, so that none of the direct sewage goes into the river and it will not impact the river directly. So I had a very good fruitful discussion on that, and in my vision for this is to, we need to gather all the people together for this shared vision. So all the stakeholders, all the developers and government agencies, we should come all together for this shared vision, and we work towards it. And not only into the city, we need to focus in the rural areas as well, because we get the tap water easily at our home. So maybe we are not that much understanding the importance of water. If you go into the rural areas, for 2 pound of water, they have to walk miles. And if we look at in the summer, so they have very less usage of water, even for the drinking of water. So I would like to go in the rural areas and I wanted to initiate these things, our pond man is working for this. So I wanted to go there, and we'll understand what are the lakes or the ponds are there in my area which can be rejuvenated and which can be we can revive them for drinking. So all together we have to be here and join this shared vision, I would say.
Thank you so much, Smita. Keep doing that. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you are interacting with Padma Shri Popat Rao ji, who's doing it at a rural level and also with the city authorities. I just want to assure you that our 108 Mahi volunteers are there with you. You have an army supporting you, and nothing should stop us in speeding it in whichever way we can. Before I move to Sanjay with the next question, I think, Gurmeet ji, you wanted to add something to that?
Smita, we have just signed up with the Pune Municipal Corporation, CI IGBC, to green your city completely, including revive all your water bodies and clean them up.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sanjay, I'm given to understand that rainwater harvesting is mandated in many cities. However, there are inherent problems in implementation of this. Could you elaborate on how we can overcome these problems?
Lately, in last 10 years, most state governments, so, first to reflect on what you just said, you know, most of our major cities are 10 million people plus. So when you talk about such high density, and there is a large 30 to 40% is of migrant workforce, so they connect with the city somewhat is lacking. So it's a huge problem of infrastructure and stress on infrastructure because of population growth and urbanization, which I think is one area. To add to that problem of urbanization, the challenge for us is that across the country, most states had increased the FSI. So the moment you increase the FSI, I mean, talking about Pune, given certain road width, you can now go up to 9 FSI. Imagine that. You know, then you look at Hyderabad, it's infinite FSI. So as the density goes, to answer your question more, you know, specifically, how do you provide for the basic amenities which are required in the real estate, which is the parking norms, the power norms, the gen sets. So all the space on the ground and the Mother Earth requirement by the municipality that you need to have Mother Earth on which you have at least 25% green coverage, etc., etc. You're left with no space whatsoever for rain harvesting. So it is kind of lack of coordination between various stakeholders across the real estate sector, which has resulted in lack of, I would say, rain harvesting. And also, you know, real estate has consistently gone through a lot of downturns. One, in this country, the cost of capital is very high. Second, the approval processes take time. So by the time you finish the project, you yourself stressed and, you know, starved for water instead of providing for the water in the project. So it's, you know, do we have this much additional capital that you can allocate to do a really meaningful social cause? It just raises questions around business.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. I think with such honesty and in such a straightforward and simple manner, you've kind of dealt with the problem here. I think the JLL team is here, and I would actually request them to make a note in our post-event report, because what we all can do, we are doing, but what has to be done by others, we would definitely push it through NAREDCO and Mahi offices so that these issues also can be addressed. Because solutions are being talked about, success stories are being talked about, but at the same time, we cannot lose sight of where the speed breakers are, and I think those need to be dealt with, and that's what this deliberation is all about. Gurmeet ji, how can Nirmal Jal Prayas succeed in making India water positive, working with NAREDCO Mahi and your IPA, Vanita?
See, the most important thing is what you can measure, you can monitor. We signed an MOU with NAREDCO Mahi on the 22nd of May last year in Delhi, and that I have attended your first convention also, and now I find that Mahi has organized itself into various states. There's a vice president, east, north, west, and now we got to do something on the ground. For example, in Pune city, just by distributing free aerators in lots of public places, commercial, residential areas, we were able to save 133 crore liters per year. Now this is 5 years down the line, so we have saved about 650 crore liters already. Water has been saved. Where I stay in my own building, I have 68 flats, 105,000 square feet. We consume 1 lakh liters of water per day. Only by putting aerators and nothing else, I can save 30 to 40% water at source. I do not need to treat that much water. Now 30,000 liters saved per day calculates to 1 crore 9 lakh liters per annum in one building, one society, which is only 1 lakh square feet. So let us now work seriously on ground level, where I am ready to talk to your Mahi girls and monitor. Once a month, I'm ready to have a Zoom call with all of you so that we start implementing on ground in all our cities. You want free aerators? Indian Plumbing Association, my team is here. We will give you free aerators, or we'll get somebody to sponsor them. But can we save 30%, 40% at source? Also, I've been working with the ministry. It has taken me 5 years. Madam D. Thara is not able to come today, but she has agreed to mandate low-flow fixtures and sanitary ware. We have published a code, Water Efficient Products India Code, in 2013. Okay, and it is now today 2023, 10 years down the line. The ministry was not ready to mandate this unless they had a BIS code. And we have a BIS code which we released last year, 16750, Part 1 and Part 2, where you can save 30-40% water at source without compromising on the comfort of the user. When you have a shower, and Anantaji, I'm not talking about what you don't want me to talk about, but 75-80% of the water doesn't touch your body. Trust me, I have a bucket bath, so does the president of Mahi. And she's very happy having one bucket bath every day. She told me herself. You don't need a shower. No, don't stop me. So my request to all of you is, we have to conserve, preserve, reuse water. It's possible. Let's work on the ground, Mahi, IPA, Vanita and Mahi. We can save 1,000 crore liters of water per year. And consecutively, this saving can keep on increasing. Thank you.
I don't know what to say, Gurmeet ji, except to request everybody, please remove the showers and get the buckets in.
Ladies and gentlemen, just a small request. As much as we love hearing all of you, we have a little bit of a time constraint, so just wanted to bring that to your notice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pavleen. Thank you. We'll move really fast from here on. Ramveer ji, आप जब कहते हैं तालाब साफ करने जा रहे हैं आप, और मैंने आके देखा है, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया पहले, of course it's about the environment, but there's another environment also. एक ग्राम पंचायत है, local administration है, गांव में रहने वाले हैं, बड़े-बड़े skyscrapers में वहाँ रहने वाले लोग हैं. How do you handle all these challenges? And so fast, I mean, I have seen the speed with which आपके तालाब clean हो जाते हैं, before and after इतना फटाफट होता है. तो किस तरह से आप ये challenges handle कर रहे हैं?
Thank you. एक्चुअली देखिए, चैलेंजेस तो हर काम में है. इवन चाहे वो रियल इस्टेट हो, चाहे वो पॉन्ड रिस्टोरेशन हो, चाहे कोई भी एक्टिविटी हो, और हर काम में अलग टाइप का एक चैलेंज होता है. तो इसमें अलग टाइप के एक चैलेंज है. इसमें पॉन्ड रिस्टोरेशन करना कोई बड़ा चैलेंज नहीं है, बट लोगों का माइंड रिस्टोर करना सच में एक हमारे लिए बड़ा चैलेंज है. क्योंकि पॉन्ड तो हम रिस्टोर कर सकते हैं, बट वो लॉन्ग टाइम के लिए कैसे वो सस्टेनेबल बन सके, क्योंकि हम तालाब से कचरा निकाला और 1 साल बाद फिर से उसमें उतना ही कचरा आ गया. तो दैट इज़ द लाइक बिग चैलेंज फॉर अस. और सेकंड वन इज़ द लोगों, चाहे वो रियल इस्टेट हो, चाहे वो म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन हो, कोई भी गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी हो, या चाहे वो इंडिविजुअल हो, जो लोगों ने तालाबों को एंक्रोचमेंट किया है ना, लोग जो उसकी कीमत को नाप कर उस पर कब्जा करना लगते हैं. एक स्टडी है, I read in a newspaper article कि we had around 25 lakh historical ponds in India जब भारत आज़ाद हुआ था. और फिर से 2017 में जब उनसे फिर से गिनती हुई, तो आउट ऑफ 25 लाख हिस्टोरिकल वाटर बॉडीज में से हमने 20 लाख को खो दिया. और वो कहाँ गई? आज उस पर कोई, या तो कोई बिल्डिंग है, केस चल रहा है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, एनजीटी में, चाहे उसमें सड़क निकल गई है, चाहे वो वहाँ पे पुलिस स्टेशन बन गया है, चाहे वो लोगों ने घर बना लिया है. वो एक हमारे लिए बड़ा चैलेंज है, क्योंकि मेरे पास कोई पुलिस फोर्स नहीं है, मेरे पास कोई ऐसी गवर्नमेंट पावर नहीं है कि मैं लोगों को वहाँ से हटा सकूं. तो उस कंडीशन में जितना वो बचा हुआ है उसी को क्लीन करना होता है. और सबसे बड़ा, और इसके अलावा जो चैलेंज है वो लगभग कोऑर्डिनेट करना. और वो ये तीसरा, पॉन्ड को जैसे रिस्टोर करने की बात है, तो वो देखिए हर पॉन्ड में अलग टाइप की एक प्रॉब्लम है ना. आप देखेंगे कि आपकी एक ही सिटी में हर पॉन्ड में आपको अलग टाइप की एक प्रॉब्लम दिखेगी. कुछ में वाटर हाइसिंथ उगी हुई है, पूरा वो फुल ऑफ एक्वेटिक वीड्स हैं, किसी में गार्बेज भरा हुआ है, किसी में पॉन्ड है, वहाँ पे स्ट्रक्चर है, सब कुछ है, बट उसकी तरफ कोई पानी नहीं जाता है ना. वो कैचमेंट एरिया, चाहे उसके वाटर चैनल्स है, वो पूरा डिस्कनेक्ट कर दिया है. तो दैट इज द लाइक, तो जैसे उसमें फिर प्रॉब्लम होती है, उसी के अकॉर्डिंग फिर उसका रिस्टोरेशन शुरू होता है.
थैंक यू. मेघल जी, there's no cocoon now. मेघल जी, पानी जो आपने स्पेशल इकोलॉजी ऑफ वाटर की जो आप बात करते हैं, पुराने ज़माने में आपने लिखा है कि लोगों को बहुत रिस्पेक्ट होता था. ऑफ कोर्स सिविलाइजेशंस केम अप अलोंग रिवर्स, बट बहुत रिस्पेक्ट होता था, गॉड्स होते थे, सब चीज़ होता था. तो इन अ लाइन आई वुड पुट इट अक्रॉस लाइक मानो तो मैं गंगा माँ हूँ, ना मानो तो बहता पानी, यू नो. सो यू हैव काइंड ऑफ dedicated a whole chapter to that. Can you explain what that was?
I think
That
that's
has changed today in,
Yeah.
and we do not understand.
So I think, in fact, that is probably the crux of the message that I'm trying to put forward in the book. And it's not just something that I'm putting forward just in the book, but it's something that we are also trying to incorporate in our practice. That जब हम लोगों को पानी नल से मिलता है, and I have a presentation where we see that a lot of investment goes into the development of taps, and new type of taps, and it just sorry. And there is very little investment or effort in trying to understand where it comes from. There is a beautiful pond, lake reservoir in Jaisalmer, Amar Sagar, और उसके पाल पे there is a different kind of iconography of the elephant and the tortoise, and the people of the city knew कि जैसे जैसे पानी नीचे जाता है, अगर हाथी बाहर आया है तो they know कि पानी इतने दिन तक available है. If it goes further, they know that water is only available for so much. They themselves take on the responsibility of becoming frugal. And I think that's a message that has disappeared from our current urban narrative, which we are trying to bring back in our projects. So when we are saying that we have recently partnered with a client who's in the tourism sector, and we are trying to create a lot of water bodies within their complex, which are visible to the visitors. They create a beautiful environment for sure, but they are also the source of water. So your relationship with your source, which is not 800 kilometers away, but is immediate, and the immediacy of it is what we have lost. So, ये जो मंदिर बनते थे, या ये मंदिर, the step well came first, the temple actually came after. And the temple was created in order to encourage people to have that respect for water. आज वो चला गया है, क्योंकि हमको नल चालू करते हैं, जितना पानी चाहिए मिलता है, हमको ये नहीं पता कि उसका cost क्या है. There is no cost assigned to what we are using. So we have no sense of being frugal, and yet in our country we have less of a problem because we're still a low carbon, comparatively a developing country. We have an aspiration to be a first world country, and imagine the amount of water we will need when we will all have that aspiration fulfilled. And I think that is the biggest challenge we have in front of us, and not only in our households. हमारे households में पानी का consumption percentage wise for the country is comparatively less. Agriculture, Gurmeet ji is saying 70%, some of my academics tell me 90%. Irrespective of the number, it is very high. So what is it that we are eating? Are we eating products? Are we using clothes? So virtual water, how much more do we keep consuming water even if we are not directly looking at it? And I think these are messages that we have to create through the presence of water in our urban situations. We are looking at a project right now in Chennai. At an urban level, we are looking at a 30 kilometers radius. And there are 4 temple tanks. There is a Buckingham Canal. And we are suggesting to the government, the corporation, that let all your stormwater go into these, and you will resolve partly the problem of flooding. But it's not a project that has a affinity to the existing practices. And therefore, it takes time for that education to move forward. And therefore, I felt that what I had learned, if it is in the public domain, it has a certain legitimacy. And I'm hoping that we are going to have more and more such situations where we can partner with governments, we can partner with the real estate, and which is why I'm here outside my cocoon to say that we need to partner with a knowledge bank and your ability to put things in action.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This paucity of time and brevity is important. So Sheetal and Smita, I'm going to quickly ask you a question and I'll request you to give me a quick reply on that, please. Thank you so much. First to you, Sheetal. Being a leader in the construction sector, with clean water becoming scarce, what are the new technologies that you think can be introduced?
Water is national treasure. So all of us agree to that, right? But this treasure we are giving for free. So we are, like if you see, I stay at Mumbai and in residential towers where millions of water requirement is there every day. Water is metered only at one point. So I think like electricity is metered, it is need now that water needs to be metered, which is right now not metered at many cities. So I think that mandate is required now. And secondly, so we, in our projects, we are recommending using water meters. Secondly, I think IoT, all of you know about Internet of Things, which adds up the digital intelligence to anything and everything. So in our projects, we are recommending technologies like IoT-based moisture sensors, like for gardening, irrigation, the sensor sense the soil moisture, and when it is required, that time only watering happens. So by adding this IoT device itself, by real-time monitoring of all this data, we are able to save 15–20% water there itself. So there are n number of possibilities with IoT. So we are trying to use this IoT wherever possible for saving water.
Thank you, Sheetal. Smita, do you think advocacy is enough to attempt a 20% water saving?
Advocacy is certainly has a very important role to play. It will bring the awareness, so lots of campaigns and initiatives we are undertaking for the advocacy. And, but certainly it will not save the 20% of the water, because only having the awareness of that will not give us the exact results. So concrete actions needs to be taken. So to save the water, so like as a developer, I would say we have to build water sufficient projects and use the low flow fixtures and water harvesting and implementation of a good system for the irrigation and having a good water treatment plant. So likewise, this concrete action needs to be taken, and we should promote the sustainable projects with it. So only advocacy will certainly not help us for the 20%, but it will certainly take a step further for our vision and make aware people, and we can make the urgency, sense of urgency, looking at the rapid urbanization and the kind of pollution going into the rivers and ponds. So certainly we can work towards awareness with the advocacy, but concrete action needs to be taken on that.
Thank you, Smita. रामवीर जी, आपने 6-7 फॉरेस्ट भी क्रिएट कर दी हैं, ट्रीज लगा के, और पता नहीं 6-7 टेड टॉक्स भी दे दिए हैं साथ में, हाँ 10 ओ माय गॉड 10। आपकी जीवनी का नाम क्या होना चाहिए? Okay, so I leave it open to everybody. If anyone has any suggestions, what should his book be called, please do share with me. ananta.raghav@gmail.com. That's one. I think, you know, पुराने बुजुर्ग लोगों ने बोला है कि you're a direct reflection of the top 5-6 people you spend your time with. संगत बहुत बड़ी चीज़ होती है. That's what we used to be told always. Our parents just wanted to know who our friends are, what we are up to. इससे अच्छी संगत इस टॉपिक पे I don't think पहले कभी हुई है और आगे कभी हो पाएगी. I think a big round of applause for everybody. But before I wrap up, Sanjay ji and Gurmeet ji, one-liners from you, because it won't be complete. And after that, ask us anything. It's open to Q&A. But, yeah.
I just wanted to draw the attention. Just wanted to draw the attention to a very important problem in the urban areas. There is a water theft, and water has been hijacked because there are organizations and individuals who have taken control of water as a commodity in our cities. And because they have no interest in preserving water or making sure the sources of waters are protected, the solution is regulation, beside all the technology that we were talking about. So it's a huge issue, and I think the government eventually has to come out with some regulation around it.
I will add two small things because we are running out of time. First thing, man means women also, because lots of women here now. Man and women are the most insane species. All of you are the most insane species. You pray to an invisible God, but destroy a visible nature. Not knowing fully well that the nature you're destroying is actually the God you're praying to. So ladies and gentlemen, Jal, Vayu, Agni, Akash and Dharti are the most important things in our lives, and we have to conserve and preserve them. Lastly, we have learned, ladies and gentlemen, so much from our mistakes. Let us not make the same mistakes again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for all the esteemed panelists here. And
I would like to barge in, like sir has said, with the government agencies or government officials can help us for this. So I have seen in Maharashtra for the women empowerment, they have given the concession of 1% into the stamp duty. If we could make the same kind of any action for the green buildings, whoever is buying a green home or and the property taxes as well, so that if some kind of concession is given by the government, certainly the advocacy and awareness will be there. So at least for some time, we can put this into the thoughts of the people that yes, when financials are involved, certainly it will give a good result.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you. As you can see on this panel, 4 people are Bombay se aaya mera dost, and 2 have come from Noida. So ye hamara chalta rahega, dil abhi bhara nahi. But this will go on all day. I don't think we have the time because there are 2 other panels as well, and there's a keynote speaker too.
Yes,
so Pavleen, we are all yours now.
Thank you so much.
May
A huge
I
round of
intervene
applause.
1 minute? This bottle, have a sip. Don't leave it behind. If you don't want to have more, please carry it with you. Sorry.
A big round of applause for that last thought. Very well
You can
put
see
together.
the passion to save water. Every drop matters. So I hope everybody in this room is promising only buckets, no wasting water, and saving 30%. Yes? Hands? No hands? Yes, hands? Thank you.
Ma'am, we could start a social media campaign called #CarryTheBottle. That's what I started on my social media. So everybody, how about we make a pledge today that everybody is going to carry a bottle whenever they step out of outside the house, so that we don't use the plastic bottles. We could post a picture. I'm going to reshare it. I'm a blue tick on Instagram. So be sure I'm going to share it. It's called #CarryABottle. How about that? All right. Sir is also going to share it. Okay, thank you so much to our lovely panelists and our lovely moderator. And we would like to obviously honor their presence. I would request all of you to kindly stay back. We will be felicitating their presence. Can I call upon Mr. Hari Babu and Khairul Nisa to kindly come up on stage to honor Mr. Gurmeet Singh Arora? Can we have both of you on stage, please? And of course, with a huge round of applause, okay. We have Ms. Chitra S. Jain, Director, VP Central NAREDCO Mahi, who will be felicitating this moment. Can I call upon Mr. Sujit Kumar, And Ms. Chitra Jain again, who is on stage to felicitate Mr. Ramveer Tanwar. Can we have some applause going on, please? Sir, you have to facilitate Mr. Ramveer Tanwar. Can I request one person to give away the plant and the other to give away the award? Mr. Sujit, can you please facilitate Ms. Meghal Arya? Thank you so much, sir. Can I have Mr. Nitin Mittal and Ms. Sonal Mehta on stage, please, to facilitate Mr. Sanjay Dutt? And next up, can I have Mr. Jay Mozaria and Ms. Priya Shah to facilitate Ms. Meghal Arya again? Can I request all of these people to kindly join us on stage? Can I request Mr. Jay Mozaria and Ms. Priya Shah to kindly come up on stage to facilitate Ms. Meghal Arya? Can I also request Mr. Alok Gupta and Ms. Aishwarya Bansal to kindly come up on stage to facilitate Ms. Smita Patil? Ms. Smita Patil has been facilitated. Can I request Ms. Alok Gupta, Mr. Alok Gupta and Ms. Aishwarya Bansal to facilitate Ms. Sheetal Bhilkar? Can I request Mr. Manoj Tripathi and Ms. Simran Bogra to kindly come up on stage and also felicitate our moderator, Dr. Ananta S. Raghuvanshi. Ma'am, you have been an equal part of the panel discussion. Without you, will not have been anybody to steer it. A big round of applause for all of our panelists and our moderator. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and our dignitaries for honoring them.
Let's give a big round of applause for Pavleen.
Thank you. You're too kind. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.